Hello and welcome back to another Design League playthrough, and this one's from sebk, and immediately this course is ticking a lot of boxes for me. I love a classic delta where it's not sinking loads of trees and relying on the buried terrain, buried tree kind of burnt terrain, but it's just using what you're given, and this look works so well for me. I'm a huge fan of the sandier kind of dried out look. And particularly when you combine it with coast, I think it works brilliantly. Now, plot looks really interesting. We've got some barrancas, ravines, there's some mounds this side. There's a lot going on, so let's leap straight into it. And I immediately like that there is a hole over on this side, so we haven't started like back left and working our way out and then coming back right. Like, you've started kind of in the center, which is going to make this entertaining. Now, I did want to point out there's some really good stuff with the planting here that I think a lot of people can learn from. Firstly is the level of detail you've gone into all the way over here. I think if I zoom in, yeah, there's even like little bushes and things like that, like mix of grasses, so not just going with one or two, there's like a couple, and it just looks really good, really pops. And you've got the little house and boat and things like that, tiny rock just sunken in where it looks so natural. Love that. The waterside planting as well, where a lot of newer designers will just basically take their palette of things. So like, oh, I use this bush and this tree and this tree, and you just rinse and repeat everywhere. What I like that you've done is you put certain things only in certain spots. So like the cattails just in that spot in the water. Some of those little ferns just there. Lily pads only in that little section. Same with these rocks. Like, they're not everywhere, but they're kind of where they fit. Yeah, it's just great look. Now, I do think I like what you've done with the barranca here. I would love to see this opened out just a touch. Like, these trees, I get why they're there to stop the sun being really glary, and that leads your eye down towards the coast. These ones, I think, are kind of just blocking things a bit too much. It's just all a little bit a touch claustrophobic. And certainly, I think one of the things you'll get as you develop a bit more is trees that are just on the edge of a coast behind a green just generally lose them. It will look much better, particularly when your ground level planting is this good. Like, let that be the star, and you'll be amazed when you start taking some of those trees out and open up the view to the ocean, how much better it will look. I do think, I mean, we could drive it, but I just don't trust my tempo. I was right not to trust my tempo. That's an awful drive. Yeah. I don't love the crowned pin. Right, so crown being it's falling away pretty much in all directions. I think if you raise, also this sculpting is a touch jarring where it's falling down and then it's falling down, it's kind of going nowhere. If you raised up that part of the green and probably sunk this a little bit more, it'd give you more pinnable space and it'd just play better as well. Yeah, this is not going to go well, but we'll try. There we go, that's not too bad. Yeah, you can see when you're looking at it, some of it just, it's a little severe with some of the sloping, but that'll come with practice. I love the whole idea, and starting with a big risk reward par 4 is fun. I can see people racking up a really big number on that. Great first look. Second look is great as well. Love it. Green, a touch on the small side, but given the length of hole, I don't mind it. I think the bunkers are particularly small because your green's so small. This one I'd probably just lose. It's not really in play. But now, planting wise, one of the things I would maybe it's okay. One thing that's grabbing my eye is like I'm looking at anything that takes my eye away from playable surfaces. So like this tree here, when we leap back to the tee, kind of in our way and stopping us from seeing the green. I might move that, but equally you might decide you like it. I don't know. This green's a little bit massive, the grass is something massive and it's kind of floating. I think scaling it from small gradually up to big, the further away you go, will make life a lot easier there. Love this look though. be alright, or is... yeah, it's not too bad. Lovely look out towards the ocean. The plant choices you've made are really good. Oh, go on. Ah, shame. Course is not easy. Oh, still, 2 par 5s to come. Ooh, okay. So we've got some split fairways and, oh, a lot of out of bounds. I wonder whether I might... does it need to be out of bounds? Probably. I don't know. You could let people try to recover. This is not a friendly tee shot. That's a really good, scary tee shot. I don't... And you've given us quite a lot of layup area here. That's a very dangerous tee shot. Oof. I'm glad to have gotten away with that one. And green complex I really like, because if I'd gone left off this tee, I think I might have a longer shot in, but I probably have a better angle at this pin. And this green's great. Like, I commented on the first one not being quite there. This one's good. Maybe that slope's a little bit big, but I think that's to allow you to access this portion. To be honest, I would probably lose this back portion of green. It's kind of just there to create this one pin position that I don't think you need, and I don't think the hole's any better for having this pin, whereas if you took the green and made it that kind of shape, so rounded it off at the end, I think you've generally got a better green complex anyway. That probably needed a fast. Right. There's some spline work that could be cleaned up. Like here, you've got a little bit, a lobe of fairway popping out. Yeah, spline work could be cleaned up, but it's good enough, and I don't really care that much. Planting behind the green again is great. Like, just having hills adds so much to this view. Oh, go on. Now we're not even getting a birdie. Oh no, we did. That's a really fun par 5. Like, there's so much going on there, and I think as you develop, you'll probably dilute some of those ideas a little bit, and just, I guess that hole, if I have one critique of split fairway holes, which we'll go back to this one, it becomes a little bit target golfy with just a choice added on of like you either go here or you go here. Excuse me, or you go here. Whereas if you combine those to one fairway and have your out of bounds still, then it becomes a question of, well, how far right can I go or do I go? And the further right you go, you get a better angle in, things like that. So you can keep all of the options, but without making them just so stark. I think that would really help. We got more out of bounds on here. Sheesh. Okay, so out of bounds all the way down there. That is a tough tee shot. Okay, super short par 5 though, so I can probably lay back and we're fine. Nope, there's a well placed bunker to catch a 3-wood shot. Really good work. And yeah, I like where you put out of bounds here. I definitely don't think you need out of bounds up here though. I can understand why it's in the little ravines. Talk about some of the planting in a second. Yeah. So you'll notice you're getting a bit of it being black here. This happens on certain parts of the plot, and it's kind of unavoidable unless you flatten it out or use fewer sunken trees. It can occasionally just burn and it doesn't look great. Now I know it's in shadow, so you're kind of hiding it, but just something you might want to avoid next time. Really good green complex. I like that it's a smaller green after the last one, and just subtle. The green slopes are appropriate. Lovely look at where the flag is. Oh, feed down. There we go. And just one little slope, but you can use it if you get lucky or play into the right sort of area. And there we go. That's another really good hole, and like a really short 5 that works well. Yeah, I'd say bunkering generally is something to work on. I think these are a little small. Sculpting's okay. but I think could be better. I think just generally making your bunkers a little bit bigger would help you. I do feel it's still a little claustrophobic. I'd like a little more openness, but this tree being here adds a lot to the whole, so I'm all for that. Oh, I think I'm going to have to try to hit a draw, which is not going to end well. Told you. Tempted me to take a risk. Well, we should have just laid up with a 4-iron. That's a really good drivable 4. Because that's the safe shot, and that brings... It takes... doesn't take birdie off. The slope off the bunker's great as well. Like, bring that out a little bit more. Just so it's affecting more of the green. Because this, for bailing and not taking on the draw, it's just a really good hole design. Love this one. Double bogey. We'll throw back those 2 shots. I think that's up there with my favourite holes in this contest. If not, that is my favourite hole I think I played so far. Just a simple idea of try to draw it around a tree and drive a ball hole, but works really well. This one's interesting. I'd say your 2 par 3s have both been kind of short. We could have lengthened one. And usually a lion's mouth par 3 doesn't work particularly well, but I think this works. Same kind of thing with this tree. Lose it, and I think you gain so much on this hole. Same with some of these, just open stuff out a touch and drop them down and go for bushes. But it still looks damn good. Ooh, that is not where we want to go. I think you could maybe put a bit more interest, given that it's a relatively flat, short par 3, we can probably do a bit more with the slopes around this pin. And that's our 6th. Okay. Oh, right, okay, I see. So we're playing back to the first tee. You know what? I was enjoying that so much I didn't even realise we're on our 6th. That's just a cracking course. Oops. And we exited out. Look, I loved so much about that. I thought the planting was great. There's a few things with scaling and slopes that I'd work on, and I think bunkers is probably the big one. But I just really enjoyed how you use out of bounds. Like, there are a couple of really scary shots in there. Really varied with where, like, your hazard placement was great. There is loads to enjoy about that, and for me that's a real, well, I've only played half the entries. That's a real contender. So great work, and yeah, definitely going to be following what you do from here on in. Thank you very much, and yeah, good luck.